another huge game that could definitely separate both of these teams. I think they're both 2 and 3 on the leaderboard so far. So they're both definitely looking to make another dub a reality. Mammoth already jumped above both of them with that win earlier, so someone has to jump up with them. Someone has to be left behind. Let's see how it works out, because we have Direwolves, we have Order, both of which are starting to heat up. Order, I feel like, if anything, it's gone a little bit backwards for them, but Direwolves managed to finally get that second W on the board yesterday, Skip.
They certainly did, and a much needed one, I'm sure. They played something a bit unconventional, but for them, it looked clean. Much like we've seen in the last 2 days of competition, it's all been about the better AD carry being unlocked to pop off. Give them the tools, give them the time, give them the ability to farm the gold, get the XP, and it allowed them to play the game they want. So obviously we are stacked with great AD carry players in this region, but it's really, I don't want to say exposing, but it's allowing them to be the star of the show so far. And Frost, it was only a moment of time before he was going to pop off.
Man has been absolutely popping off. And fortunately, we got to have a chat with him, so have a listen to this.
Hello everyone, my name is Frost and I play the ADC role for Direwolves.
Oh, hang on a minute though, that is the wombo combo! From every angle it comes together!
The coaches approached me with a roster that had incredibly high ceilings, so it only made sense for me to join.
How do you like them, X? There's an AD carry, he's gone, there's a double, and that is an ace.
I've been playing since Season 3. My first competitive season will be 2020. That's my first year of university. I joined RMIT and their esports club, and later that year played my first season of Oceanic Challenger Series. I played pretty much everything, ADC, support, mid, jungle, top, but only in the most recent years I've set my heart on AD carry, whether that be utility, setting my team up, or hyper carry. I can be the player to winning the whole game. Our mid jungle has like incredibly good mechanics in terms of like 2v2. Our top laner like plays absolutely everything. You guys can be excited for like anything he pulls out. For the first season, I just intend to grow as a team and aim as high as we can get. But for split 2, that's when we want to win it all. We want to go to Worlds. Stay excited. We're going to be out there to perform and make the game as entertaining as possible. Thanks for supporting us.
A great bit of content coming through from the Direwolves, and great to hear from Frost. But that's enough about Direwolves for the moment. We've got to talk Order as well, and they have been looking pretty good. A lot of people tout them as a team that should be right up the top of the leaderboard, but after the last couple of days, they just haven't managed to get the big dubs, Kitty.
Yeah, we haven't seen the best performance, especially from Kisei on the mid lane. I believe he went 0-7 and 0-4. Coming into this game, I expect him to step up against Kyosei, even though we saw Kyosei have a really good performance on that Lissandra, cracking some ankles on the Rift, you know?
Yeah.
But I think this game will definitely be a mid-jungle show, and a better mid-jungle will win.
Okay, well, on that note, we managed to catch up with Order as well to hear their thoughts on this matchup.
Styles mid jungle are pretty good. Apart from that, I think all of their other players are like average or below average. We outskill them in all 5 roles, so it'll probably be a storm.
Nah, it's never too good to be confident. We're always humble as a team, especially myself. So when I head into this match, I'm gonna be 100% trying.
It just comes down to if we can translate our scrim performances into stage games. I'd say if we do that, it'll be like free win. If they play, you know, like a Yasuo or Diana, those two are the ones to carry the game. If we shut them down, we'll definitely win. I don't think their top or bot can carry even if they get a lead, so we're not too worried about them. If Zoranus is not on Yumi, he'll probably go 0-10, so better best pick on Yumi.
Yeah, they have a shot, but like, it's a very low percentage they'll win. I did my calculations.
Hashtag humble, huh? So great to hear that coming out of the Order camp, and good to know that they are on the same page as Kitty, who literally said before Kevy did that it's going to be a battle in the mid jungle.
Yeah, so obviously Kevy mentioned that Zoranus, if you don't pick Yumi, you'll go 0-10, so I'm also very excited for Zornus to see what he has in store for us, you know? Smite Jana top, come on, I
Oh,
want to
maybe.
see it, I want to see
Maybe.
it. Pick it, man.
Look, you're really digging deep. I want to see it too, just to see how the hell it works. But something else I want to see is Kiyose and BioPanther, because I have them for the pre-match interview. Boys, how we doing? Kiyose, good to see ya. How you feeling going into this matchup?
Pretty good. I mean, if our top laner doesn't feed 0 to 10, I think we'll win. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good start. Now, I actually wrote a little paragraph for this one. I've hit the lab, and I've taken a close look at the footage. I've found a correlation, Kiyose, between your smiles per minute and amount of time Direwolves win. You're rocking 100%
Yeah.
smile uptime in the games you've won. Is Direwolves strat just to keep you happy?
Yeah, just keep me happy, feed me everything, and yeah, maybe we'll win.
Beautiful. Now, I've been enjoying hearing from Bulldog. He's been solid as a character in the interviews. Now, tell me, what's he like as a teammate?
He's really like charismatic. He keeps like, you know, keeps the jokes up, keeps the morale up, and yeah, he's overall like a really funny guy. For sure.
Yeah, he seems like he would be a blast to be in the Rift with. Now, Bio,
Yeah.
your turn.
Yes, sir.
So, going into this year, your team last year, right, you had a lot of talkative players, mainly, you know, your Pabus, your Chazes,
Yeah,
and
100%.
it seems like I'm getting a whole different vibe from your lineup on order. It feels like there's more quiet players. Now, how are you dealing with that? Are you focusing on, like, improving the comms or just figuring out how things work, or are you focusing on other aspects of the game?
I think the team just needs to gel more together, because I feel like we have a lot of like outspoken players, especially in the mid and jungle. They literally talk a lot. I think it just we just have to be more comfortable with each other, and that's what we've been doing with like the next few weeks. And I'm just excited to get like more like wins on the board that we like. I feel like we should be getting these wins for sure.
Yeah, it feels like it looks like you're very close a lot of the time, but then something might be missing. Now, I'm asking
Yeah.
about the bromances. We're going into Valentine's Day next
Yeah.
week. Are there any bromances forming on the team, with yourself in particular?
I think between my mid jungle is the biggest bromance in our whole team. I think Kevy and Kisei are like 100% like linked together. I think that's like Order's Valentine like teammates for sure. I don't know.
Beautiful. That Kevy fella, he's a bit dreamy. I've heard that. Now, of course, you know, all smiles here on the interview, but of course, we're going into Valentine's next week. So, as practice today, everyone's been giving each other compliments. So, Kiyose, you start first. You give Bio a compliment, and then Bio, you return the favor.
I think you can play weak side really well.
I think you can grow a beard better than me, so that's quite the compliment. So I'm pretty sure you can grow a beard. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Now that's solid. All
Appreciate it,
smiles.
yeah.
I hope you both have a great game in the Rift. Thank you for the interview.
Thank
and
you
good
so
luck
much.
in the game.
Alright, see ya.
Thank you.
Both so happy. Everyone's so happy
many
today.
smiles.
The only person that was, well, technically he was happy. He just wasn't as positive as the rest was Pradith. But he was still quality comedy gold. Now, either way, anything you guys want to touch on from that interview before we start to jump into predictions?
That's such an interesting stat, Mac, because I've run the numbers, I've looked at the websites, I've tried to figure out where this stat has been conjured up from, but it just doesn't exist. So I don't know who you know in Riot, mate, but you know, these stats about
It's not
smiles.
Riot, it's me. I told you. I watched the footage back. I watched the player cams. And every time they win, he's smiling from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a crack stat. I guess being positive wins games.
That's true. Positive on the leaderboard. Positive in the player cams. That's what you
Should
want to
tell
see.
that
Now,
to my solo queue teammates. Yeah.
you tell them, Kitty. Now, let's have a look at the predictions quickly before we jump on into the game. I was expecting maybe a few more Direwolves after that win yesterday. Skimmy, you're the odd one out here. You want to back yourself?
Yeah, look, there's been a few games today where I've been really undecided as to which way I want to go. But I thought, you know, you've been picking the underdogs all week long. So I thought, why not just go for the upset? Go for the chance. Yeah, I feel like Order would be coming into this as the favourites. But I feel like there's definitely a chance here for Direwolves to cause the stir.
I really wish I got that PGG tip right, by the way, because I would have been tied up with Rusty again. But alas, I'm not.
True.
Kitty, tell me why we've gone for Order.
Well, obviously, Order hasn't had the best performance, but they do have a very solid lineup. They just haven't shown their potential in the past 2 games. Although Dials had a really good game last night, I think Order has the upper hand. But if
Okay.
Giles win, I'm not going to be surprised either.
Well, I guess we'll see about this bromance that we've heard about between Kisei and Kevy rather, and see if that... Keve. Well, there you go.
That could be them. That's them.
That's the couple name. I've accidentally said it live on stream. Now,
Oh, no.
it's been leaked. It's been leaked. Hashtag Keve in the chat. All right, so we've seen Gwen every game so far today, and you guys called for it. But do you think it's going to be the full quadra with the Gwen picks?
Wouldn't be surprised, eh? What do you think, Eddie?
Well, we've seen the Gwens have really strong performances. Even though Lived lost on it, he was still a very strong Gwen on that team. Either it's going to get banned or it's going to get picked. It's going to show up in the champ select.
Okay, I don't think it's going to happen at mid, but let's have a look at mid head-to-head regardless. This one's going to be a tongue twister for both of you, so good luck, Kitty, trying to say both these names in quick succession. Kiyose up against Kisei. It's going to be nuts because both of these players are so individually skilled. And Skimmy, tell me, who's going to win it?
That's a tough call because as it stands right now, I wouldn't say either is a lane bully as such. They've definitely found moments where they can showcase what they can do individually, but not to the same levels that we saw them perform on late last year. So as it stands right now, I feel like if Kisei can find an aggressive matchup once again, if it is going to be the AD, then Kyose might flex it into that, like, you know, control Lissandra once again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see Kisei play the mage, play something a little bit more scaling oriented, and just give them that insurance policy to play around.
I think I really miss Kisei playing Lee Sin mid. I know it's probably out of meta now, but I remember he was so damn good at it last year. Kitty, any thoughts on the matchup?
So obviously, Kisei was a known carry player last year on the Chiefs, so I'm quite surprised by his average KDA of being 225. That's kind of matching Kyose's utility playstyle on those Karmas, but he did impress us with that Lissandra and LeBlanc performance from the past weeks. So yeah, I'm gonna expect Kyose to have the upper hand because Kisei has been kind of pooping the bed.
Oh, so to speak. Now, hopefully his real life situation is much better than that. Now, we are, of course, you know, getting ready for this matchup. I feel like, you know, jungle is going to be interesting. I've heard a couple of tier lists being thrown out there, and Gudo, he's pretty damn solid in the jungle, but is he any match for Kevy?
It's a tough ask because I feel like he definitely can play the carry role. He showed it multiple times during late last year, and the question that we keep asking is, look how good he looked on a team of Mammoth last year, right? Yeah. How good will he look when he's like his own man with, you know, stronger teammates surrounding him? So you would say that he's going to have a bit more of a conventional champion pool. You know, Lee Sin, obviously going to be at the top of the pride there for him. He's played the Diana too, but like the ace up the sleeve for Kevy is going to be the fact that, yeah, I can play those champions, but I have 50 off-meta picks ready to go.
Whoa, jeez, what's that? You're talking about up sleeves? What have I got here? It is thumbs up. We're good to go. Get into the game. Champ Select's ready. Final one. It's going to be a banger. Enjoy.
Oh, the cleanest segues you'll ever find here on a Nose broadcast for anything related to esports. Mac is just the GOAT. And I'll tell you what, these two teams will be hoping to try and achieve that status as well, won't they, Kitty? Because it's going to be a case of order going blue side to start things off with. And they've even gone for a first rotation Poppy ban.
They've gotten rid of Karma from Kyose and potentially Zarnas playing that cheese smite tactic. Like, we've seen Caitlyn and Corki permaban the entire night, taking Zeri off the late, locking in the Aphelios, leaving Jinx open. In my opinion, I actually think, this is my personal opinion by the way, I actually think Jinx does better into Aphelios than Aphelios into Jinx.
Oh, okay.
Oh, a little bit of a troll bait.
Okay, so they basically said we could pick an AD carry right now. We'd much rather guarantee that the support can be flexed in any way. And it's the foreplay. That is the fourth game of the Gwen. And if the stats are anything to go based off, recency bias would suggest that they've just won.
I believe that is a Gwen jungle. I've caught Gudo playing a bit of Gwen in solo queue with that Ghost, and obviously they're going to pick the Aphelios with that Thresh. Leaving Lulu up, we can still potentially see a Lulu or Zillion with the Jinx, which we've seen have a lot of success tonight.
Certainly has, and why not? If you are going to go for the Thresh, it felt like the writing was on the wall. They definitely want that Aphelios. Pretty good to see that Puma's going to get a very strong matchup. He has been an absolute lane bully, best in his class really for those stats. The problem has been translating that pressure and success in the bot lane into the team fights later on. But as you could argue, you know, Frost has been in that same category. He's very important for the team. In most cases, 41% of the team's kill share, so they need to give him the resources to continue to pop off. Jinx is there. Will it be the Lulu? Because right now you're looking at a Jarvan, which is just going to make sure that that Jinx has nowhere to run.
A Rakan. Okay, interesting. Putting in a bit more engaged for the DW comp. But let's talk about how Kevy locked in the Jarvan. He's playing utility for this match. We often see Kivy on those carry jungles, so I'm quite surprised that they opted into a utility jungler for tonight's game.
He has opted for it. They want to give themselves all the engage tools nice and early on. Akali has been removed. We've seen Order have that available to go, just yet to play. That Chana again, look at Zonas' face, he's cracking up saying, boys, they know the cheese is there. It's going to happen one day, but not today.
You know why Rusty said that Zonas looks like a werewolf? It's because of Twilight, I swear to God. Zonas can be a Twilight character anytime he wants.
Absolutely. You've stolen my point. That could definitely be him. He's got a life after gaming. We've already figured it out. We've got his life planned for him. We are literally his agents here on stream, putting in the hard yards. So we'll see what his next bans come out to be. Akali, as well as the Syndra removes, so making sure that Kisei can't find the scaling matchup for the mid lane of the AP route. But what will Order consider to bolster this? Because I'm looking, quite honestly, at 4 Zorenis bans. I mean, the Poppy is definitely a pocket pick of his from a while ago. The Zillion too.
That is 3 Enchanter bans coming out of Order. They are very scared of what Kyosei and Zorenis and Bulldog have up their sleeves, leaving a lot of top laners open for Zorenis. We don't know what he's going to pick yet, but it's most likely going... Oh? He locked it in. He locked it in. He locked in Soraka.
Meta Madness, bless.
Oh my
We're
God.
going to see it. We are going to see it. Now,
the amount of healing from that mid-jungle duo.
This is crazy to me because I feel like picking up blind can be a bit of a risk, but I feel like if you have an aggressive jungler, maybe you stem that a bit. So, I'm excited. We're getting everything we could ask for here.
Oh my God. So I have to talk about how Victor is open, by the way. They can just pick Victor, and if they play to the very late game, Victor can outscale the Jinx and... Oh, a Rise. I did not expect a Rise. I was expecting more of a Victor champion because he does have a long range into the Jinx. But it's always nice to see some scale being picked into Soraka because you cannot win lane into that champion.
Yeah, the biggest bully really for the Soraka has been those heavy AD carries, right? Like, any of the assassins, things like Fizz, Echo, Yasuo, Yone, which we know that Kisei can play, but the draft doesn't need more attack damage. It needs some scaling AP, and that Rise will fit the boot and the bill for it. Final pick here for Direwolves, though. What are we looking at?
I'm expecting Zorenis to pick a tanky frontline, and that's a
Oh
Vayne!
my God, Frost, you absolute legend.
That's a Vayne! Vayne top? Vayne
This
top.
is how I first found Frost. If it is to be the case... No, it's going to be top lane, of course. What am I talking about?
It's Vayne top.
Oh my.
That is a Vayne top into Sion. They have... Their frontline is a Rakan and Gwen. When Gwen goes immune, by the way, this is spiciest draft we've seen so far, Skimmy.
This is even squishier than that piece composition when they ran all the assassins and said, we have so much damage, but if you kill us, maybe we're in trouble. Obviously, we've seen the Vayne cheese be played in top lane a whole bunch, right? But not conventionally as such in competitive. I mean, I'm sure your solo queue games have been plagued by this.
Well, I've seen quite a couple of Vayne tops in my life, and let's just say they don't do very well. But maybe Zorenis can change that because he does have a winning matchup in his favor. Because Vayne is quite the lane bully when you pick it into a Sion. But what I'm wondering is how is the Soraka going to survive the ganks against a Jarvan and Rise?
It's a very good question, right? As that is going to be a big pressure point for them. A lack of mobility in the sense of you can jump onto the Soraka, you can jump on towards the Jinx. Unless they get their kills, very hard to slow them down. So Direwolves have really given us the final twist to close out week number 3 here. We can obviously discuss their composition a lot more as we jump into the game, but on the side of Order, a lot more conventional. What do you like about theirs?
A lot more textbook. It has a lot of easy engage options onto the Dials team. Obviously, you have the textbook Jarvan or Sion ulti with Thresh hook possibilities. Rise can go for those flanks, which is really good against the squishy comp of Dials. They won't have any defense against that flank with the ulti. But speaking of champions that can flank, Bulldog is on Rakan. He is a renowned Rakan player. I believe he was a one-trick before he decided to go pro in solo queue. So I'm going to be very excited to see what Bulldog has up his sleeve going into tonight's game.
Certainly will be. And we saw what Corporal was dealt a punishment yesterday when he played that Rakan. Jumped in and didn't get a chance to really jump back, just died. So he'll be feeling a little bit more happy because now they actually have the Rise on their side. But I tell you what, conventional draft from them meets absolute chaos from the side of Direwolves. Let's quickly touch on some of the points here, because what I mentioned at the start of the show, right, was that the Soraka should really be able to coast through the early stages. Obviously, it becomes a bit of a problem super late, as you mentioned, hence the Victor suggestion. But you're ideally what? You're hoping to try and spike with the Moonstone Renewer, maybe get a second item after that, and then you're free. You're just hoping that your AD carry, which in this case, all eyes go to Frost.
I mean, eyes can also go to Gudo because Gwen jungle is quite busted right now. He does take the cleanse and the healing is going to be absolutely insane from that duo. So, we see that Frost takes cleanse against Order. He can only cleanse the Thresh hooks in the early game, I believe. Maybe sometimes the Rise root. Pretty safe coming from Frost.
I'll cut you off for 2 seconds there, Kitty, whilst you observe all the carnage that could take place whilst we have this interview, because I've got Poultry actually waiting on the line here from the side of Direwolves. I've got a million questions, but I've only got time for a couple, mate, so bear with me. First of all, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Kimmy. Great to be back.
Yeah, that's really good too. Absolutely, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. He seems to be the man, the myth, the legend that defeats multiple teams when you sub in as a shaker, but then you come back in and give us a draft like this. Let's quickly talk about this draft for a second, because it has everything.
Yeah, it certainly does. Like I'm very happy with the draft we got today. If the game goes late or if we extend any fights, we've got that Soraka healing everyone up. I will say I was very surprised when Order locked in Jarvan for Kevy. It's not a champion I've seen him on before. It's definitely a lot more high tempo, and I don't think that's Order's cup of tea, to be honest. So I think we are coming in, as the favorites after this draft at least. Before the draft, honestly, it was a bit of a toss-up, but yeah.
And that's literally my point. You've tied it in beautifully, right? I was going to say, you guys are tied together, both 2 and 3, coming in as a tied 5th place team. So, did you view yourself as the underdogs coming into this matchup? Was the draft a difference maker?
I definitely do think the draft was a difference maker. Coming into the matchup before the draft, I still say we wouldn't be the underdogs. It'd be hard to push us as the favorites, especially when you look at Order's lineup. A lot of veteran players there, and Divals are still a relatively new team. We still have a couple of rookies here, week 3, but no, very confident in this draft.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate your time as always, Poultry. Pleasure to catch up. Wish you boys the
me.
best of luck for this game.
Peace.
Still can't forget about Poltron's Shaco game.
You cannot. It's iconic.
Well, I was looking at these summoner spells and runes. We actually see Corporal taking the Glacial Augment on the Thresh, which in my opinion, in this comp, it's quite well because you do have 2 front lines, so you don't have to be the tanky person in the comp. But seeing that Glacial Augment going into work where Bulldog engaged and he just got flayed, slowed, and he had to flash out. So that's Flashless Rakan 3 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. Anything out of the ordinary here from some of these rune choices?
What do you think, Skimmy?
Well, I mean, I look at the Airy. Yeah, I mean, I look at the Kyosi pick. It looks standard to me.
It is pretty standard, yeah. So Soraka in the carry position. So we've seen a bit of Soraka ADC and Soraka mid lane. It's usually Airy with the revitalized secondary because Soraka early game actually has really good trade. Her Qs are really strong because every time you walk up for an auto, you can basically get in range for Q. So Airy actually ends up doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's a cheeky little bit of sustain, isn't it, right? When you get the Star Call buff, and you can obviously apply that movement speed to your carry as well later on into the game. But I'm really excited to see this interaction between the Silence, which has a very long cooldown, so you need to really make sure it hits. But pretty much to your point, right, how do both mid-jungles operate? Because that really feels like the crux to forming how this game could go.
Yep, so top lane is definitely the most volatile lane we have in this game. It could go both ways. Either Vayne can absolutely destroy the Sion and make him have no, he will not enjoy the game whatsoever. But in return, if this Vayne gets ganked, this sound gets way too tanky, and this Vayne can't catch up in items to deal the amount of damage that she wants.
Yeah, but I'm sure once we do get to check in every so often, this Sion just will not be able to exist. Obviously, the passive, the Silver Bolt to the W, you get a few good trades, and your HP just disappears.
Yep, and something I have to note is Kisei will constantly have mid-prio on that rise into Soraka. Soraka cannot clear that way for the life of her. So most likely into a bot dive here, or maybe even a sneak dragon. The Frost has to play really safe with Bulldog that has no flash here.
I guess that becomes the question as well, right? What can actually do with the priority that they will find in mid? Well, they're finding it in bot as well, so that means that a very early Drake can be started here by Order. They're going to commit 3 members. A Cloud Drake on the board, soon to be acquired. Order going to start here with a very small lead.
Yep. You know, I went for Order to win this game in my predictions, but seeing Dial's comp, can I switch it to Dial's, please?
No.
No.
Look, you've got to be a believer from day one. I saw the chance. I thought, you know what? It's time to shine. If there's ever an Enchanter meta, surely put your faith in Kyosei.
Yep, so obviously Order have gotten the dragon, so that means Guro is hovering the top side because they didn't contest it. And Kisei just went to throw a Q at Guro. It's like, hey, that's my Gromp, don't touch that.
Warning shots, really.
Yep. So we are seeing Kisei slow building his wave against the Soraka, potentially a gank from the Jarvan. The Soraka is quite pushed out in her lane. Sorry, this isn't a slow push, this is a freeze, I believe.
Looking to be that case, right? Looking to try and zone out the Soraka,
Yep.
which is going to benefit a lot, right, from the solo experience. Bigger heals, bigger chance to, you know, assist on the map, but isn't going to like taking the chances to try and step up to that wave and risk a gank.
Yep, so from what I'm realizing, Kevi and Corporal have really good mid-jungle though. Look how they're just holding hands and getting that vision control, while Guro and Bulldog is kind of out of sync. But Guro is coming up to make up for that.
In jumps
Lack of
Bulldog though.
confidence.
He's had enough of this one. His flash is still on cooldown, but that's not going to deter him, make it a bit of an aggressive play. And Ignite gets committed by him as well. So Bulldog now has no summoners at all, but it's all about protecting this blue buff, which Guro so desperately wants.
Good to see a nice hand cam.
Yeah, we do. We get to see the APM. He's clicking furiously, but can he click fast enough because Gudo's in trouble? He smites the Gromp, but he's just going to die. First blood. Picked
Gudo
up by Kevi.
didn't go immune. Where's the immune button? You're hooked.
All those clicks. We couldn't find the click he needed.
Well, that is going to be a kill for Kevi. Obviously, the Soraka ult came out, but because the Soraka didn't actually rotate to the blue buff, because she was cut off by the jungle and support, it was really hard for Guro to contest that blue. So yeah. Frost is actually really behind in CS. He's down 10. Well, every lane is down 10 except for top. Is to be expected, but here we are. No Soraka ult, by the way. 4-man dive bot.
Yeah, the heel's down. The wish is not there. And now we're going to lose plates. And, I mean, this is kind of what we're celebrating from the side of Order's bot lane, right? Puma is insane when it comes to these leads he can generate by the 10-minute mark. He gets the experience, he gets the gold, he gets the pressure. And always been the question of what does it actually look like when he goes to group with the team? Can they find the team fights they need? As Kyosei, would you say he hit skill shots? He certainly chucked them out.
I mean, maybe it's a one-off thing, but I did see him popping the corrupting potion. Until Rise gets his first item, Soraka should have a fairly easy time in terms of mid-trades, but we do see Guro trading those bot plates for a Rift Herald. Not the worst scenario, but Frost is very behind in terms of gold compared to Puma.
Where would you like to see this Herald dropped? Would you like to say, you know, Xeranis is ahead, let's
know.
really bully this lane, or do you want to go down bot and triage what's been a bit rough for the Jinx?
If this Vayne doesn't get ahead, this game is basically over. I'm expecting Guro to drop this Herald to top because Frost is already behind. You don't want to give resources to a lane that's already behind. You want to give it to the Wincon, which is currently the Vayne in the early game. He is up by 20 CS. 10 CS, sorry. But yeah, I'm expecting Gudo to drop it top. Definitely not mid.
No, yeah. Can you imagine the value that the Soraka's going to find? Great, I've got the Moonstone. Let's go, guys. Which isn't actually a far-fetched com, but they definitely want to wait a few more moments before they decide to hit that go switch.
Yep, and from this fight, both top laners actually didn't end up taking TP. Wow, Biopanther is looking to kill the Vayne in a 1v1 with that Ignite. Quite surprising.
What do you make of that decision, right? Because it's a case of, do you say, no, I'm not going to be disrespected by this Vayne in lane, I'm going to beat you? Or, you know, is that the alpha move? Whereas maybe,
I think
you know...
it's an ego thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Quite literally an ego thing. But Moonstone being picked up by Kyose, huge spike for the Soraka. No boots, by the way. She can easily get caught by the Jarvan and Thresh.
Quite protected at the moment, though, isn't she? So not going to feel too under threat right now. I don't know if Direwolves really want to look to try and go for this Drake just yet. May just concede the first two, unless they can find a pick like this. Corporal hits the hook, there's the Glacial Augment, there's the flash on forward, the quickness, the dash, and the disengage away, which Corporal cannot find quick enough. Gudo has got that first kill, but Buddha's now being silenced, and Puma is, well, running away.
The red-white wasn't enough.
It was not. Another Hex take. Oh, here we go. The best soul in the game.
Oh, Kyose?
Kyose, please.
He's
Oh,
dead.
no. He's just dead.
Use ulti. Oh, no.
The big ult. Can Direwolves actually find anything on the boss side now? A three-man collapse. Zap. Oh! Just out of range.
He's getting collapsed on
They've
by
summoned the Herald.
Kyose.
Yeah, now it's going to be a 3v3. This could compound pretty badly against the side of Direwolves right now. How do they navigate things? Gudo buying time. Immune for the meantime. Grand entrance knocks up only Kisei. Dashing away, giving Gudo a little bit more shielding, but it's so far so good. Puma with a double kill and Kisei with the final.
You know, they picked Soraka mid, but the Soraka isn't actually contributing that much in these team fights. Soraka obviously got caught in the mid lane. So that was technically a 4v3 in bot, and it was just losing from the start because of that flank. So we see red-white, she has TP, but she's still dead for another 10 seconds, and they get onto Frost straight away, so that's already the team fight over. And they got the Rift Herald off, from Gudo. Not the worst case, but both ADCs opted into Gale Force, and I actually support this decision because there are no healers / enchanters in this game, so you need that extra utility to protect yourself from all the dangers of being an AD carry.
I do like this, you know, learning with Kitty segment we have every time a mythic item comes on through. These are the reasons it should have been Kraken. These are the reasons it should have been Gale.
The Locket Scion?
We certainly can, unless a fight
That is
breaks
a
out
Locket
here.
Scion.
What's Kisei doing? Is he about to get caught? Maybe not. Unless, I do see, look at order, they're waiting in the wings. Locket Scion might have to wait. Let's see if the aggression calms down for a second. There's pings all over the show. Maybe now is your chance.
What is happening? You see, the only heal cut they actually have against the Soraka is from the Scion, and this Scion is quite busy with matching the Vayne in top, so they're not actually having heal cut for the Soraka in team fights just quite yet. But Locket on the Scion. I've never seen this build on a Scion. I would obviously think you want to build health and tank and MR first, straight up, but he is playing a utility Scion, providing the Aphelios and Rise that shield. But Kyose gets caught again.
Yeah, speaking of shields, Kyose needs to shield himself from all the pain and punishment he's receiving right now. Gudo pops his head into mid lane, give him a bit of protection. Mega Death Rocket comes on through, but then Kisei hits him with a basic ability, which does more than Jinx's ultimate. That never looks too good. Gonna trim the wave a little bit more, and it absolutely styles on board with the Lantern.
Very humble, Kisei, very humble. We like to see that. Frost is having an absolute nightmare in bowling. He is 50 CS down.
Oh, Puma looking for the 1v1. Gravitum is not enough. Big ult from mid lane, as you called.
Also, my bad, Biopanther actually took Spellbook, so he does have the TP for these important objective fights. So Puma actually grabbed, I believe, 4 or 5 plates in that bot tower. He is very ahead compared to this Jinx. They will be online for the team fight, which is going to happen at the Rift Herald. You're going to see the Aphelios is going to swap lanes to mid lane, so you can rotate to that Rift Herald, and Sound's going to go back to bot.
Yeah, this is rough. I didn't even catch that for a second, but look at the XP difference alone. 2 levels down, and now you're really thinking, okay, Frost has had some stand-up performances, but you're looking at Zerenis and saying, where's that solo kill out, buddy, please?
Yeah, he's not even up in CS, by the way, when this is a hard winning matchup for Vayne top. So I'm quite confused about why is that. Obviously, Frost kind of confused. He went default back to bot, but here's the issue when it comes to the Soraka in the mid lane. You can't actually send Soraka to the side lane because she dies way too easily. But if she sits mid, she shares XP with the carry that's going to farm mid lane. So this is where we see this comp start meeting some issues for the later games.
We've not really even seen, you know, the mid jungle of Direwolves, where I see the majority of the strength come from, right? They haven't really worked in tandem to be in the front foot. It's been a lot of order dictating the pace of how this game works.
Yeah, so from the LCS game, we saw that Fudge had a really good synergy with his jungler, but from this game, I don't actually see Kyosei dealing or fighting that much with Widow.
Well, I have to very shortly, because the third Drake has just spawned. Order will summon a Herald in mid lane to guarantee that they find their second turret of this game. Direwolves still searching for their first. But the Dragon's been begun. Direwolves have no avenue into this river. And this is going to be the earliest soul point. We're looking at a 21-minute soul point up for grabs.
Yeah, they sacked Frost for this Vayne win con, but this Vayne isn't actually accelerated in any single way. She, Direwolves actually pinged to... Ooh.
Oh, hold that thought for 2 seconds, Kitty. Bulldog jumps on in. The quickness all on towards this. Aphelios. Puma's down. It's shut down, picked up by Bullgot.
That is not very good. The Jinx is still crying. That's... If I was the ADC, I'd be crying if the support got that. Okay, you know.
But you're a support player, so you're absolutely happy, right?
No, but I feel so guilty when I take a bounty, especially when it's a lot. That's okay.
In a selfish way, you're like, well, I'm ahead, but then your AD carry looks over at you.
But the good thing is for Puma is that Rakan actually used both sums during that trade where Bulldog got the bounty and Puma actually saved his flash for next fight. So Puma is in a very comfortable position. This is why you want to give kills to the support. Kisei is farming up a storm. 200 CS at 17 minutes, by the way.
You get your calculators out because I tell you what, that's more than 10 CS per minute. I know. What a huge take that is. The man is farming up a storm.
Absolutely huge.
Absolutely huge. On a champion that loves the farm. And Frost, well, he's not really finding the farm. Good chompers, though.
He just walked right into that. He didn't even attempt to, like, squeeze into that gap. Fair enough. Frost is in a really dangerous position. He has no one hovering him.
Yeah, the goal graph isn't too pretty as well, is it? 6k deficit for Direwolves right now. It's lit up all things blue.
Yeah, and bringing back that point where they played towards the Vayne. So we did see the Rift Herald actually be put in bot lane, but this Jinx is still very, very behind compared to this Aphelios. So I think that was a miscommunication, but I don't know, that goal kind of just disappeared in the void.
Do you think, Kitty, there's an argument to be made that that initial play very early on during the coach interview where Bulldog had to burn the flash early, that's had sort of these dire consequences?
I think so, yes. But the main point is that Soraka is constantly being pushed into mid lane, so it's very hard for the Soraka to actually rotate to these bot lane dives. So yeah, I was expecting those 4-man dives coming out of order and it worked. So because Frost is 2 levels down, he's what, 50 CS down as well. It's just really hard for Frost to actually turn the tables.
Yeah, he's going to be hoping for a big fight to try and claw his way back into this one. 2 minutes before that all-important soul point. It's a date with destiny, and it's not looking so far that good or that promising for the Direwolves. Goodo, the focus of this ultimate. The Cataclysm goes on out, but they turn it around. A big shutdown picked up by Goodo. And they remove Kevy.
Kevy actually picked up a Thorn Mail just to counter the Soraki healing. But Mac actually is typing in our chat where he noticed that Bane built Immortal Shieldbow instead of Frostfire Gauntlet, which we saw on a Kog'Maw earlier. So Bane went for the Immortal Shieldbow because Dials is lacking in terms of frontline. So if Bane has an extra shield, she can actually tank a lot more damage for the team while having extra healing from the Soraka. It's quite the smart buy here.
I do wonder which way we'll go here with Kiyose for that second item, as they might just be waiting as long as they can before they have to fight. I mean, they've had moments, but we've yet to see that true all-in 5v5. So, Order once again with the inline track. Yes, Kevy died, but he'll be back. Hexgate's being used, deploying onto the map. The map, once again, still does belong to them. They have the gold lead. They put in so much hard work in these first 20 minutes to take down 4 turrets. And Biopanther, well and truly, just has not been punished.
Dragon spawning for Soul, and Order is at the objective first. It's really hard for Dials to actually walk into this dragon. Dragon coming out with the TP. Dials gonna look for the mid priority here so they can rotate easier to this objective. But we do have a stopwatch on the win for this team fight.
Okay.
This is a really bad choke for Dials. Kevy's looking.
Promising. Yeah, it's a pincer maneuver. Shrelez gets popped very early here by Bulldog. Look how many wards are in that brush, by the way. Have Direwolves got enough vision? I think so.
There's never a thing called too much vision, Skimmy.
Certainly learning that. Here we go. The Drake is there.
Got
It's
fire?
taunting them. You're just waiting for Sion to pull the switch, hit the ultimate, and crash on into them all.
So Order's gonna look for the fight, not for the soul in particular here. But Dials is very stressed.
Yeah, Bulldog looking to try and jump on here. Go's going to pick up an objective bounty. They get their first Drake off the game. Now Direwolves want to run away, but are they looking to try and take a fight? Well, Goodo is 1v5 against the world right now. Where's this team to back him up? It just don't exist. Goodo and Kiyose, the mid-jungle duo, is dead and deleted. But Zerenis, well, he managed to pick up 1 kill, but the power of Puma is a little bit too strong this game. He's still alive. He's burnt no summoners, and he's picked up all the kills he could ask for.
Look, this Vayne is not doing very hot into the Sion. The Sion is so tanky with Kise at level 15. I don't know how much CS he has. He has 250 at 22 minutes with the ADC following up with 220 perfect CS people. With the red whites for the Baron. They can't even rotate to you. Maybe Bulldog can seal with a Q?
Oh, no way.
WQ?
No way. Okay, we see a 1 HP clutch, but no, surely
Redemption.
not. Goodo. Oh, that's a bit of a late
Oh,
fast cone, unfortunately
okay.
for him. Jumps back across, and I don't think Order will be too upset that they lost the soul point, but let's see the replay again.
Yep, so obviously Order is trying to play for the fight while Goodo is trying to secure that dragon with deny dragon soul. Cross is Oon, by the way, and Zoranus got CC'd with the flash play. Zoranus can't wiggle out once he gets CC'd. That's just what happens when you have 0 frontline in your comp.
Yeah, and that was the concern we mentioned, right, from the drafting phase. If it doesn't get ahead, it feels so rough to play from behind.
Especially with this comp, you have no damage, the Jinx isn't online yet. This Ryze is an absolute monster, and your main carry, which is the Vayne, didn't actually do much in the early game where she can't actually compete with a Ryze.
But if anything, it's been exciting. It's been entertaining because it is that high risk and high reward kind of gameplay. You know, the draft warrants it. It has to be played and respected in that kind of fashion. But Order have risen to the occasion and said we're not going to be disrespected by this cheese, and we're going to look to try and do what we do best, play standard and find ourselves another win. BioPanther has just been, well, given a bear hug, really. It doesn't really matter what's happened to him. Serenus is caught on the flank right now. Avane up against the world, looking to hit the ultimate, looking to try and tumble on through, going stealth, going insane, gets rooted, but now runs them down 25 minutes into this game, and we're starting to see it. We're starting to see it. Yes, you're right. The Realm Warp is good, but he'll be happy with at least a double.
Val was getting desperate with those Racanos. He actually ulted a Scion with Knight's Vow and Locket. He is playing a full support Scion that's level 14. Who has the Night Vow connected to?
Probably Puma.
Kevy messed up with his EQ, needing to flash. Oh,
Yep.
thank you on service.
We don't want to see it. Neither does Kevy. We want to see the action as it's taking place right here. Gonna go to sidestep the smash. Not going to get locked in place by Panther just yet. Frost again. He's got no mana, as you say. He needs that reset. He needs that presence of mind to come on through to give him that regen that he so desperately desires. Otherwise, he's hard stuck mini-gun form.
Yeah, and apparently Kisei has 100% KP at the moment. Definitely a redeeming game from the past two we've seen so far.
Yeah.
KD being 108.
I think you heard him.
Stats.
I think he heard you flame him. You know, you said he's got no 07 Mac, he's got no 4 Mac, and he said, you know what? It's time to show you. I need to remind these people the hype that I found in 2021.
Yeah, and the talking point about Soraka solo lane is not the best when your laners are behind. You know, you're healing, but who are you healing? You're healing a Jinx that's 0-2 that's behind in nearly 100 CS.
Yeah, which is just unheard of, really, for the most part when it comes to AD carries. But that just shows the class that Puma has.
Mm-hmm. And we actually see Puma opt into a Bloodthirster to counter healing with healing. But Soul is on the line for this fight. And Kisei, BioPanther actually needs TP for this. But there are some really good flank wards from Order for this Dragonfly setup.
I mean, do a lot of vision in favor here for Order. They've got a top wave pushing, they've got a bot wave pushing. The map is primed for them to win. A soul point would be the cherry on top. The Drake has spawned. What can Direwolves do to prolong this game a fraction longer? They're down 9,000 gold at this stage. Feels pretty rough. But Order are going to take their time with things.
I don't think Dials actually win a 5v5. All their carries are just way too behind in experience and items where they never win, so they have to focus with this.
Good on his own, Kisser in the flank. The Drake does get picked up here from the side of Order. They've got the soul point exploding into life. A triple kill from the Aphelios. A quadra kill, in fact.
He stole it!
The pentakill could have been there. Puma is molding. Kisser has stolen it again. And now he's going to TP top and says nobody's seen it. Nobody needs to know. No worries whatsoever. It's going to be a win. A huge one at that for Order.
300
Puma
CS.
is smiling. Puma never smiles, but he is smiling. Look how much damage he did. 7k damage. 28 minutes. Stop the clock because it's all things Order. A convincing win for them and a great way to close out week 3.
Oh.
They take no damage from the fountain. That's illegal.
Oh, no, you know, if anything is going to make Puma smile, it's definitely this game. He had an amazing performance on that Aphelios.
Business as usual for the boys there. Reserve the nest celebrations. No need to copy that like the rest of the league.
Why are they so happy? Look at them smiles. Yeah, that game was kind of doomed from the very first Drake, in my opinion.
Sure.
My green screen. What's wrong with my green screen?
Yeah, your green screen's had enough. It's been a very long day. It's been a tough day for you, though, as well, Kitty. Oh, hang on. Let's just get Mac into the conversation really quickly. Save the show.
Look, I'm here to fix all the technical difficulties and tell you what went down. And look, I was very, very excited with that champ select, with that draft coming through from Direwolves as well. But fortunately, we picked the right team, Kitty. So you're pretty lucky that you didn't go and swap back to Direwolves, like you did mention. Skimmy is Kitty up with you now?
I think we're tied again.
am.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So you've thrown the lead. You've thrown the lead with a scary pick, but which could have worked. But Order played out of their minds. And look, you have to give it to him. Kisei playing beautifully there in mid. Gaffing it, I think it was almost 150 CS, about 140 CS lead at the end. So he was en route for that double flame horizon. And then he robbed Puma. Oh, catastrophe. Either way, Puma may be able to say some words about that in a little bit. But for now, Order, they kept this one clean. Questionable, crazy support build coming out from Biopanther in top lane 2. Lots of words said about that during the game, but of course it worked. And he got a whole lot of bonus HP as well. So, Sound blocked 1.5k with Locket. Thresh only blocked 400. So, BP really using that Mythic to a greater extent than what we saw from Corporal in the bot lane. Although it felt like, you know, on the front line, Bio was very involved a lot of the time. So, Kitty, I guess, look, anything that you want to touch on from these replays? Anything you can see that you didn't see initially?
Well, obviously, we didn't see Frost pop off on the Jinx like he did yesterday. He did get set very behind. But there's not much to say when the two main carriers, which is the Ryze and the Aphelios, flame Horizon their respective laners, with them picking up Soul as well. So that game was quite hard to win.
Okay, now I'm looking at a few different things here. I feel like the healing cut coming through from Jarvan, that was definitely important. Sion had some as well. I'm looking at the DPS though, they didn't worry too much about it. Don't worry, we got something going on there. I was like, 2 Gale Forces, Aphelios, that's cheating, you're not allowed to get those. But no, that's just a little glitch in the Matrix, of course. And of course, Kisei with the Everfrost in mid. Man had 4 items when Kiyose, someone who we know is one of the stronger mid laners here in the LCO, only had 2. He didn't get that third towards the end. He did pick up the stopwatch, but unfortunately, he couldn't get that double bloody going golden double stasis coming through like we got to see yesterday.
Yeah.
The sneaky man. Of course, that's what happened when you have a lead. You have the extra cash, and you can do some sneaky things like that.
Yeah, Soraka's definitely no Lissandra. You can even ult yourself, right, and you get 3 stasis effects, and you've really tilted the opposition because you're just not playing the game at that stage. You've put yourself in a cryo freezer and you've AFK'd for a hot minute. But yeah, I mean, they definitely took a big risk in that game, right? They took a chance to say we could try and eke out a win in that regard, but alarm bells were ringing when the Vayne didn't have a lead or a solo kill. Alarm bells were ringing when Kiyose got caught in mid lane with no boots. And yeah, just the Drake stacked up, the leads were being built up, and then the snowball, you couldn't stop it.
I can hear the alarm bells ringing as well. I think someone's actually here to report a robbery. That's Puma. Are you there? Come on, tell me, what do you hear? I heard Kisei stole your Penta. Please, continue the report.
Well, I actually didn't know it was like a Penta angle, but it was pretty last second because yeah, they died pretty quick. I couldn't tell.
Well, it was pretty quick. You still got like 7k damage almost done in that last fight as well. Playing spectacularly in the bot lane, doing your job perfectly. Now, I've got a couple of questions for you as well. You and Corporal, of course, you've had a few days, a few weeks now to sort of work out the kinks. How's it going? Are you finding that synergy? We spoke to Bio earlier. He reckons, you're all working on the synergy and just getting used to playing with one another. But Corporal, yesterday, bit of a hiccup. Today, much better performance. Do you rate his Thresh?
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think we would pick it, but
True.
At the start, it was pretty rough. I think there's like significant moments of when like something bad has happened or we disagree on a point or something, but like the day after or like a few hours later, we just fix it. So I think our trajectory is going up.
Okay, so getting there, of course. I'm sure you miss Beats, but you can get your just desserts with him later on. Now, of course, we have been given everyone compliments here on the LCO today because Valentine's Day is coming up on Monday, but I'm not going to be able to do the interviews then. So I'm asking everyone now, if you had to compliment someone on your team, who is it and what would the compliment be?
I'll probably give it to Kevy. I'll probably just say something like, don't think too much, like, you got this, or something like that.
Yeah, beautiful. I would say Kevy damn, that man's dreamy. Look at the eyes. It's like diamonds staring into my soul. I get stunned every single time. So maybe take that one, send it to him. Hope he's not watching the broadcast so you can act like it's yours. I'll let you have that one for now. And I'll let you have this W. Go bask in the glory of the win, and we'll talk to you later, mate.
Thank you.
I think I scared him a little bit. I've got to pull the charisma back when I'm talking to Pew. I'm sorry, mate. Look, I didn't mean to do him like that. It was pretty intense throw in, so hopefully, I think I just scared him a little bit. Now, Kitty, anything taken away from that interview?
Well, Soraka, it's been picked in the mid lane, but maybe Kisei found the solution to the Soraka mid lane, Rise, and gotta get that 10 CS per minute.
Yep.
But I am not surprised that obviously a scaling champion outdid a Soraka. But I actually don't think Kisei knows how to play Soraka mid lane with his jungler, because he didn't actually respect the enemy mid jungle duo with that without the flash in the mid lane.
Right.
So maybe he hasn't mastered the ways yet. Maybe we'll see more.
Someone that has mastered the ways is the man that was on your screen just before. It's Puma. He's had a couple of these already, and he's getting it again. Player of the game, MVP, coming in. Big ADC, 8-1 and 3. Unfortunately, he only had 68% kill participation because Kisei was going crazy with the assists, dancing around the map. But 33% damage share, which I think a lot of that came from that last fight as well. So, Skimmy, what other stats here are interesting to you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the gold share is really the biggest one for me, right? The fact that he got so accelerated so early on. He had a Flame Horizon, 100 CS leader of his lane opponent. He was picking up all the plates. The enemy were in a bit of a catch-22. You know, do we try and play to a top side to get a Herald to try and get this Vayne ahead? What are our lane swaps actually looking like? And Puma's just laughing. He's just farming. He's getting plates. He's getting more gold. He's like, I've got an item above you. I'm playing Aphelios at the end of the day. It's as GG as you want it to be.
GG indeed. Order going to be happy with another dub and jumping up that leaderboard over Dire Wolves, who now are the only team that were in that 4th place tie to sit in 5th or 6th, wherever it would be. Anyway, we can look at that when that's sorted, but we have to talk about the play of the day as well, because there was a lot that has happened today. Couple of big wins, couple of upsets, couple of great games. So, I know it's been a lot. I know you two have done a lot of work today, but please just, scramble in those memories, see if you can think of something.
The only thing that comes to mind right now at the top of the head is Voice when he got the Zillion ult, the stasis, then turns around, no-scopes him with the Jinx ult, and they just win the game.
Okay, interesting. Kitty, any thoughts on what it is?
It has to be either Puma's play at the very end, or yes, Voice with the turnaround with that Jinx rocket.
Okay, well, there were definitely some extra contenders, but fortunately we've got 2 big brains here, and they guessed it. It was Voice with a huge triple kill coming through. They were playing out of their minds. Mammoth with yet another W. And this is the fight I was talking about as well, where Kanga fully separated MEC. They see, look at this separation. Let's hit the go button. Only what are you doing? Lemus, see you bloody later, mate. And then Chungy, Lionel, and Liv say, oh, God, we've left the boys for dead. Better commit here. And it just goes south. So 5 for 3 trade. Big plays coming through. Kitty, tell me how it happened.
So obviously we saw Voice getting sped up by Rocco. He flashes into the Cogmore, might I add, just to dodge those skill shots from Liv. And he brings down Lionel just before he goes out himself by Liv. Takes out as many people before he goes down himself. That's disrespect from every single level.
Yeah, a lot of damage dished out both ways, but again, Voice with a huge triple to keep Mammoth in the game. They were down before that fight, and that was definitely a point of difference.
I have to ask, I had a bit of play-by-play there. Is that your first little foray into the old League of Legends? Are we getting the...
it could be a little bit of a foray into the
are we
League
getting a
Legends.
little bit of Mac on the mic?
I'm pretty comfortable here in my seat and kicking back watching the games. I do enjoy Skimmy in my ears every single day. Now, that was fun. That was a whole lot of fun, but of course we have to get towards the end of the show. The standings, we need to talk about those. There's been a shift. There's been a shift from that little 4th place tie we had. Now it's gone into a 3rd place tie because Pentanet copped another L. Chiefs got the dub. So there's 2 wins between 2nd and 3rd place. But now we've got another 3-way tie. Mammoth Order still involved, but Pentanet, they've joined them, Skimmy.
Yeah, at this rate, really, we are waiting for those super weeks to come into effect to try and break this deadlock, where teams will really be pushed to their limits to try and figure out where they find themselves on this leaderboard. No surprises, obviously, Peace have been playing really, really well. Solid performance there from the Chiefs to bounce back from that defeat against them last night, but yeah, the biggest one, you just keep looking at that third place and think, good on you, Mammoth. You know, we were all completely off for how we rated them. And then, yeah, you look at the bottom, you're thinking it's only a matter of time before Kanga come into full effect. Gravitas have looked good on their day. And you just really want to see, you know, these games continue at this rate of excitement.
Yeah, crazy game today. And look, I feel like we've got a few more on the menu. So let's have a look at what games we're going to be seeing in week 4 to kick off the fun. Kanga, Peace, 6 p.m, be there or be square. Is Peace going to stay undefeated, or can Kanga turn their luck around? 7 p.m, game numero 2. We, of course, have Direwolves and the Chiefs. That's going to be a difficult one for Direwolves. Chiefs looking spectacular today. 8 p.m, Order and Mammoth to play to break this tie. This is going to be interesting because we know what Order are capable of, but Mammoth just keep on pulling these upsets, pulling these dubs, and keeping chemistry as their key. 9 p.m, Pentanet and Grav. This is one where it could go either way, but Pentanet, if they play like they did today, it's going to be a walloping. Kitty, which one is going to be your game of the day?
I am looking at that Mammoth versus Order. They are currently tied. That will break the tie between those two. But I'm assuming from today's performance, it might be favored towards Order, but we will see how Mammoth turn up on the day.
Okay, I guess we will see if that happens or not. Skimmy, any game that you're excited for from these?
Yeah, I just love the last game, right? I'm always excited for Gravitas games because you just don't know what roster they're going to play. They're always going to keep you guessing, so it must be an absolute nightmare to be a coaching member and figuring out, okay, what champions we've got to go into, what's the strat, what's the style, what's the potential cheese, what are the angles that could give us another big defeat.
Well, I really wish I had some party poppers here, but I don't, so I'm just going to pretend I do. But congratulations, Kitty. You made it through the whole broadcast. Great cast on your first 4 games ever. You did a perfect job, and everyone out there was very, very supportive and excited to be watching you from Twitch chat. You did a great job, and hopefully, well, I want to say hopefully, you know, if Rusty does unfortunately get sick again, we've already got ourselves a replacement right here.
True.
Well, thanks Mac and Skimmy for being such great casters to work with, and thank you Twitch chat for watching along the way.
A lot of Kitty fans out there. Now, Skimmy, before I wrap up the show, anything you want to say to all the Skimmy fans out there?
Oh, no, look, I can never contest with Rusty. He's the daddy, he's the king, he's got the good looks, he's built different, the genetics, the shirts, the biceps, they're bulging. I've just got ginger hair, so that's what's going for me, guys.
Well, you've got the voice of an angel as well, and go and rest it up because we got week 4 to get to. You got a few days to kick back and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, next Monday, it's going to be another beautiful week of LCO. Please join us then, but for now, stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you on Monday.
Make sure of it.
At 2K.
Going for this one, can Torna find a way in towards this Baron pit? The Moonlight Vigil goes that nice early. There's the call of the Forge God as well. 2 kills already found here by Peace. Both the carries online. There's a double now here for Appy. There's a double also for Chayan. Gonna fall on down in the end to Zoe.
That was so sad. Foreigner flashed in. He smited. It was 1 HP. The back
ticking time bomb is there already, as you would. Only's just going to get one shot here, and they're going to try and disengage away. But look at Levis' positioning. He's separated from his Lulu. He needs his Childminder. Where's the protection? Chungy going to die as well. It's a double kill for Voice. The Jinx is getting excited. There's a triple kill. A kill found from Chungy from the
No, but they can't kill Liv.
And it's a shutdown. Liv. Oh no. Oh no.
The bomb. That was so close.
It's an ace.
That
A second falling on down, but now Sapoon says, why me again? Rogue initiates, Sapoon looking to try and flash, but it's down, Punisher comes on through, and look at that, it actually does get procs.
They're gonna look again.
So they are gonna look again, Dominus goes on through, but this time Dragon's there to back him up, Glacial Fusion goes to try and knock him all up. It is going to be the Rector that dies first of all, and Praetor is dead, that's huge! Race finds one, Race finds two, but Baum kind of assassinates him. Good on his own, Kisser on the flank, the Drake does get picked up here from the side of Order, they've got the soul point,